My name is Amy. I am 34 years old. I live in Hawaii near the sea. I love the sound of waves. I love walking on the beach in the evening. I always thought I had a good life. But I was wrong. I met William 6 years ago. He was smart and funny. He was tall with brown eyes. He spoke softly and always smiled. He worked in real estate. He sold houses to people who came to Hawaii. I thought he had a kind heart. We met at a small cafe. He was sitting next to me. He asked if I wanted more sugar for my tea. That was how our first talk began. After that, we started meeting often. He said he liked talking to me. He said I was different, felt special. After 6 months, William asked me to be his wife. I was happy and said yes. We had a simple wedding near the sea. There were only a few people. He said he didn't like big parties. I believed him. I didn't care about big things. I only wanted love. We moved into a small white house. It had blue windows and a garden. I planted roses. He said they were his favorite flower. I cooked dinner every night. We laughed a lot. He always came home at 6. We ate and watched TV together. Felt lucky. But after 3 years something changed. William became busy. He started coming home late. He said work was hard. He said people were buying more houses. He looked tired. I asked if he was okay. He said yes, just work stress. He smiled, but his smile was different. Felt cold. One day I made his favorite dinner. He came home late again. Waited. He didn't say sorry. He just ate in silence. I tried to talk, but he looked at his phone. I felt like he wasn't with me anymore. I went to bed early that night. I looked at the wall. My heart felt heavy. The next day I cleaned the house. I saw his bag near the sofa. It was open. I never checked his things before. But that day I did. Inside I saw a photo. It was old. In the photo, William stood next to a woman. There were 2 kids too. They looked like a family. I stopped breathing for a second. He came in and saw me holding the photo. I asked, "Who are they?" He took the photo fast. He said, "They are clients. I sold them a house." His voice was calm. I didn't believe him, but I stayed quiet. I didn't know what to say. My hands felt cold. That night I couldn't sleep. Kept thinking about the photo. Why did he keep it in his bag? Why did he look so happy in it? And why did the woman in the photo look like she was standing too close to him? The next morning I made breakfast, but he didn't eat. He said he had a meeting. He kissed my cheek and left. I watched him go. He didn't look back. I sat at the table, alone with cold toast and coffee. Days passed. William was more distant. He started working on weekends too. I asked if I could come with him. He said no. He said the clients were not friendly. I didn't argue, but my heart was full of worry. One day I went to the market. I saw a woman there. She looked just like the woman from the photo. She had the same long hair and smile. She was with 2 kids. The same kids. I was shocked. I didn't speak to her. I just watched from behind the fruit stand. My hands started shaking. When I got home, William was already there. He was in the kitchen making coffee. He smiled like nothing was wrong. I wanted to ask him again. But I was afraid. I didn't want to hear something that would break me. That night, I cried alone in the shower. The warm water ran down my face, but I still felt cold. I held my stomach and sat on the floor. I didn't know the truth yet, but I could feel it. Something was wrong. And deep in my heart, I knew my life was about to change forever. Before we continue with the story, I'd love to hear from you. Which part of the world are you listening from today? Leave a comment below. And if this story touched your heart, please subscribe for more simple and emotional English stories. The next morning I stood at the window and watched the waves. The sea was calm, but my heart was not. I held a cup of tea, but I didn't drink it. My hands were shaking. I kept thinking about that woman and the 2 kids. I kept seeing William's face in that photo. I wanted answers, but I was scared of the truth. What if he really had a family? What if everything he told me was a lie? I looked around the house. Every photo of us felt fake now. Every smile on the wall felt heavy. Later that day, William called me. He said he would be home late again. Asked why. He said, "Don't worry, love. Just more work." But his voice was not warm. It was cold, like a stranger's voice. I said, "Okay," and ended the call. I didn't say, "I love you." I didn't feel it anymore. I sat on the sofa all evening. I didn't turn on the TV. I didn't eat. I just sat and thought. My heart felt like glass. One small truth could break it. When William came home that night, I watched him. He smiled and kissed my head. He asked, "Did you eat?" Said no. He didn't ask again. He went to the bedroom and closed the door. I stayed on the sofa. I couldn't move. I felt like I was waiting for something. I didn't know what, but deep inside I felt it was coming. The truth, the lie, the heartbreak. I didn't know how or when, but I knew the storm was close, very close. The next day I woke up early. William was already gone. I made coffee and sat in silence. My chest felt heavy. I needed to know the truth. I could not live in fear anymore. I had to find out who that woman was. I had to know if those children were his. I could not ask him again. He would just lie. I had to do something on my own. I picked up my bag and left the house. I walked to the market, the same place I saw her before. My heart beat fast the whole way. When I reached the market, I looked around. I didn't see her at first. I walked up and down the small street. I was about to leave, but then I saw her. She was buying apples. The same woman. The same long hair. She wore a red dress this time. The 2 children stood beside her. One of them held her hand. The other played with a small toy. My hands began to shake. I stepped forward. "Hi," I said. My voice was soft. She looked at me and smiled. "Hi," she replied. I looked at the children. "They are beautiful," I said. She smiled again. "Thank you," she said. I took a deep breath. "Are you from here?" "Yes." "Yes," she said. "We live not far from here." She looked kind. She did not seem afraid or cold. Felt sick inside. Then I asked, "Are you married?" She looked surprised. She paused for a moment. Then she said, "Yes. My husband is William." My head spun. My chest hurt. My knees felt weak. I stared at her face. I did not know what to say. I felt like the world stopped moving. "William?" asked again. "Yes," she said. "William Moore." Do you know him? I did not answer. I just stood there, frozen. I'm sorry, I whispered. She looked confused. Sorry for what? She asked. I stepped back. I need to go, I said. I turned and walked away. I walked fast. I did not look back. My eyes were full of tears. I could not see clearly. My heart was broken. I wanted to scream, but I kept walking. I walked all the way home. When I reached the house, I sat on the floor, cried like a child. The man I loved was already married. He had a whole life with another woman. He had children. He had lied to me every day. For 6 years. He kissed me. He held me. He told me I was his wife. But I was nothing. I was just the second woman. I was not real to him. I was a secret. That evening, William came home. He smiled like always. He walked into the kitchen. He saw me on the sofa. My face was red from crying. He asked, "Are you okay?" I looked at him. My hands were shaking. "Who is she?" he asked. His face changed. "Who?" he said. "The woman at the market," I said. "The one with your children." He froze. His eyes went wide. He said nothing. "You lied to me," I said. My voice was low. "You're married. You have children. You live a whole life with her. No. I was nothing to you." William opened his mouth, but no words came out. I stood up. "You said you loved me," I said. "You married me. You lived with me. You shared my bed. But all this time you were lying." He walked toward me. "Amy, listen to me," he said. "It's not what you think." I stepped back. "Don't touch me," I said. "Just tell the truth. Are you married to her?" He looked down. "Yes," he said. His voice was small. "And those are your children?" "Yes." He nodded slowly. I sat down again. Felt weak. "Why?" "Yes. Why did you do this to me?" He sat on the other chair. "I didn't plan it," he said. "I met you. Liked you. I didn't know what to do. My first marriage was not good. I was unhappy. I wanted something else. You made me happy. You made me feel alive." I laughed, but it was not a happy laugh. "So you used me to feel good," I said. "And all this time I thought you were my husband." William looked down. He didn't speak. Then I asked, "What about our home? What about everything we built?" He took a deep breath. "I have to tell you something else," he said. I looked at him. My heart beat faster. "What?" "Yes. I gave the house to them," he said. "I gave my money and land to my first wife and the children. I had to do it for them. I didn't want to hurt you. I thought I could take care of both families." My mouth was dry. "You gave them everything?" "Yes." "Yes," he said. "All the land, all the money, the house. I signed it all in their name last year." Closed my eyes. Could not believe it. He gave them everything. And left me with nothing. No love. No home. No truth. So what do I have now? Yes. Nothing. William looked sad. "You still have me," he said. I stood up. "No," I said. "I don't want you. I don't want a liar. I don't want a man who broke my heart." He tried to speak. I walked to the bedroom and closed the door. I fell on the bed and cried. I cried for all the years I gave him. I cried for the dreams I had. I cried because I believed in love. But he killed that love. He killed it with lies. That night I couldn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling. I thought about leaving. Had no plan. Had no money. But I knew one thing: I could not stay. The next morning I woke up before the sun. I hadn't slept at all. My eyes were sore and my head hurt. I sat on the bed and looked at the window. The sky was still dark. I heard the soft sound of waves in the distance. It used to calm me. Now it made me feel empty. I walked to the kitchen and made tea. I didn't want to eat. I didn't feel hungry. I sat in silence. I thought about the years I gave to William. I thought about the nights we laughed, the days we held hands. It all felt like a dream now. A dream that was never real. A dream built on lies. William came out of the bedroom. He looked tired too. He tried to speak. "Amy," he said. I raised my hand. "Please," I said. "I don't want to hear anything." He stood there for a moment, then walked out the front door. I didn't ask where he was going. I didn't care anymore. That whole day I didn't move much. I stayed on the sofa. I looked at the photos on the wall. I took them down one by one. Each photo felt like a knife. Each smile felt fake. I put them in a box and closed it. My hands were cold. Felt heavy. I asked myself, how did I see this? I trusted him. I loved him. And he loved me. Later that night, outside, sat on the were quiet. I didn't scream. I didn't shake. I just let them fall. I let them run down my face. My body felt empty. I thought, maybe I was the fool. Maybe love is power. I brushed my hair. I looked in the mirror. I saw a woman with tired eyes. But I also saw someone strong. I didn't feel strong yet, but I wanted to be. Cleaned the house. Packed a small bag. I didn't know where I was going. But I knew I couldn't stay there. Not with him. Not in that house. It was not my home anymore. It was just a place filled with lies. When William came home, he saw the bag. "Where are you going?" he asked. I looked at him. "I don't know yet," I said. "But I need to leave." He looked shocked. "Amy, please," he said. "We can fix this." I shook my head. "No, William. You already chose your family. You gave them everything. I was never your real wife. I was just your second life." He looked at the floor. He didn't try to stop me. He knew he lost me. He said, "You still have the car. It's in your name." I didn't answer. I picked up the bag and walked out. I didn't say goodbye. I just walked. I drove for hours. I didn't know where I was going. I stopped at a small motel far from town. Paid for 2 nights. The room was simple, but it was clean. I sat on the bed and stared at the wall. The silence was strange, but it was better than lies. That night I didn't cry. I just lay there and thought. I thought about my life. I thought about my dreams before William. I remembered that I used to love painting. I used to dream of having my own studio. I gave all that up when I met him. I changed my life for him. And now I had to start again. The next morning I walked to a small shop nearby. I bought bread, fruit, and water. The woman at the counter smiled at me. "You new here?" she asked. I nodded. "Just passing through," I said. Her smile was kind. That small moment felt warm. Like maybe the world was not all bad. I spent the rest of the day walking. I sat by the beach. I watched the waves. I let the wind touch my face. I felt small, but I also felt free. No one knew me here. No one lied to me. Could breathe. That evening I opened my phone. I had many missed calls from William. I didn't call back. I didn't want to hear his voice. I didn't want more words. I needed time. Time to heal. Time to think. I searched online for jobs. I looked for small places that needed help. I didn't care about money. I just wanted something simple. Start. I saw a small art shop looking for help. They sold paint, brushes, and canvas. I wrote them an email. I said I used to paint. I asked if they needed help. The next day they replied. They asked me to visit. I walked there. The shop was small but full of color. A woman greeted me. Her name was Carol. She asked about my life. I didn't tell her everything. I just said I needed a new start. She looked at me and said, "Sometimes that's all we need." She gave me the job. It was part-time, but I smiled. It was a start. That night, I sat in my small motel room and cried again. But this time the tears were different. They were not for William. They were for me. For the years I lost. For the pain I carried. But also for the hope I felt now. I still didn't know what the future would look like. But for the first time in weeks, I felt a little light in my heart. Small hope. Small dream. I was not his secret anymore. I was not his second choice. I was just Amy. And maybe that was enough. The days passed slowly, but I felt a little stronger each one. I worked at the art shop every morning. I cleaned the shelves, helped customers, and learned about the paints. I started painting again too. Carol gave me some canvas and colors. "You still have the gift," she said. Her words made me smile. It was the first time in weeks that someone believed in me. At night I walked along the beach. I watched the sunset and listened to the waves. They didn't make me sad anymore. They helped me think. I didn't feel lost like before. I was not fully healed, but I could feel my heart opening again. I began to enjoy the quiet. I began to enjoy being alone. One afternoon, Carol invited me for tea at her house. It was small but full of light and flowers. We sat on her porch. She said, "You seem different now." I nodded. "I feel different," I said. "I was someone's second choice. But now I choose myself." She smiled. "That is the best choice," she said. I moved out of the motel 2 weeks later. I found a small room to rent above the shop. It had one bed, a table, and a window with a sea view. It wasn't much, but it was mine. I bought a small rug and 2 plants. I made it feel like home. My own home. William tried to call me again. I didn't answer. He sent a message. He said he missed me. He said he made a mistake. But I didn't reply. I didn't need more lies. I had given him enough chances. Now I was done. I didn't hate him. But I didn't love him anymore either. I just wanted peace. One morning I saw a child looking at the art in the shop window. He had a small sketchbook in his hand. I walked outside. "Do you like to draw?" I asked. He nodded. His name was Luke. He came every day after school. He showed me his drawings. They were full of color and joy. I started helping him. I gave him paper and pencils. Carol watched us and smiled. After a week, more children started coming. They heard about the drawings and the free pencils. Soon the shop felt full of life. Carol said, "You've brought something new here." Felt proud. I didn't have much, but I was doing something good. Something kind. Something real. I thought about starting a small art class. Just for kids. Just once a week. Carol loved the idea. We moved a few tables in the back of the shop. I wrote a sign. Free art time every Saturday. On the first day, 5 kids came. We painted flowers, trees, and the sea. I laughed with them. I saw their joy. It filled the room. It filled my heart. One evening I sat by my window. The sun was setting. The sky was pink and gold. I held a warm cup of tea. I looked around my little room. It was simple, but it was full of peace. I thought about the past. I thought about the pain. But I didn't feel weak. Felt proud. I had been hurt, but I didn't stay broken. I walked away. I started again. I didn't know what tomorrow would bring. But I didn't fear it anymore. I had found myself again. My name is Amy. I am 34 years old. I was lied to. I was left behind. But now I have my own life. I have my art, my small space, and my peace. One day maybe I will love again. Maybe not. But I know one thing. I will never forget this time. This pain. This strength. This beginning. I used to cry alone on cold nights. Now I paint in the sun with children's laughter all around me. I thought my story ended when William broke my heart. But it was only the beginning. One morning I walked to the beach before work. The sun was rising. The sky was soft orange, and the wind was calm. I sat on the sand and closed my eyes. I thought about the woman I used to be. The woman who waited for her husband every night. The woman who smiled even when she felt something was wrong. I felt sorry for her, but I also loved her. She tried her best. She gave love. She believed in her marriage. That woman was me. I opened my eyes and looked at the sea. I wasn't afraid of the truth anymore. I knew I had been used, but I didn't feel weak. I was proud that I walked away. I didn't shout. I didn't fight. I just left. And that was enough. That was power. Back at the shop, I hung a new painting on the wall. It was of a woman standing alone by the ocean. She was small but strong. Her face looked calm. A customer asked, "Did you paint this?" He nodded. "Yes," I said. "It's someone I used to know." Carol looked at me from the counter. She smiled. She knew. That night I stood by my window again. I looked out at the dark sea. I placed my hand over my heart. It was quiet, but it was full. I whispered to myself, "You are free now." For the first time in a long time I believed it. I hope you have enjoyed the story. Like and comment if you want to hear more soon.